Aitabhyam Guru Bhakti Dabhyam Vairagya Samrajya Pujanabhyam Namo Namaha Shri Guru Padukabhyam. And the translation for this verse is salutations to the sandals of my Guru, which is the boat which helps me cross the endless ocean of life, which endows me with the sense of devotion to my Guru, and by worship of which I attain the dominion of renunciation.
Many of us, in the overwhelming vastness of the suffering that surrounds us during the Great Deluge, our loved ones are dying due to the dire need of hope.
And it is at this time that the Cosmic Mother comes to elevate the suffering of humanity.
It's at this time that the Supreme Concept of Hinduism, the incarnation of cosmic super consciousness, out of his love and compassion, having taken the spiritual responsibility for the super conscious breakthrough of the whole of humanity, the cosmic deluge.
And Devi Parashakti is herself miracles in our lives, removing all our pain and suffering, and much more. And Devi has not just attended to us individually, but also to humanity.
Various revelations of profound sacred secrets of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And by showing us the future regarding global issues, the COVID pandemic, natural disasters such as fires, floods, and more, and even the twisted human conspiracies and underground wars, which have not
segment, we will be elaborating on the statistical, scientific, and scriptural references of each sacred revelation, which has manifested precisely as the same guidance emerged from Devi Parashakti, for us to imbibe deeply and start following as Devi Parashakti.
Now let's look at Devi Parashakti's revelation and understand what Devi Parashakti has revealed for the whole of humanity. Let us watch the video on the 8 methods to protect yourself from COVID-19.
Parashodasi Meenakshi, Parameshwari Meenakshi, Parashakti Meenakshi, இங்கு எழுந்து அருளினோம் எல்லோர்க்கும் ஞானமும் தன்மையும் தந்திட நன்மையெல்லாம் அளித்திட நாமே வந்தோம் இங்கு கைலாசத்தின் சுவாமினியாய் பரமசிவன் நித்யானந்தன் விக்கிரகமாய் மலர்ந்தோம் உங்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் நல்லதை புருஷார்த்தங்கள் நாளும் பொங்கி மலர்ந்திட வந்தேன் இங்கு மந்தர்கள் கொடுந்தொற்று கொரோனா கண்டு அஞ்ச வேண்டாம் 8 வழியின் மூலமாகவும் எண்ணத்தில் தியானித்து என்னை பிரார்த்தித்தல் 1 சமூக வலைதளங்கள் மூலமாய் என்னை சரணடைதல் நான் குடிகொண்டிருக்கின்றேனோ அங்கெல்லாம் பூமிதித்து என்னை வழிபடுவது 3 நெஞ்சில் மஞ்சள் தடவி வேப்பம் சாரருந்தி தினந்தோறும் என்னை தியானிப்பது 4 நிர்விகல்ப நிலையிருந்து நித்யானந்தத்தை நிறைத்து உயிர்வது 5 சிவ 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 எனும் பிரபஞ்ச பெரும் நாதத்தை அஜபா ஜபமாய் நிகழ்த்தல் 6 நிறைவான பூரண மனத்து நித்திரையில் அடங்குவது 7 பூரணமாய் பரிபூரணமாய் அருணாச்சல ஸ்மரணையில் நினைப்பும் மறப்பும் அருந்த உணர்வு ஸ்மரணையில் அகம் அகம் என ஸ்புரிக்கும் அருணாச்சல ஸ்மரணையில் ஆனந்த ஸ்புரணத்தில் இருப்பது 8 எனும் 8 முறையிலும் என எண்ணியோர் அத்துணை பேருக்கும் இல்லை கொரோனா கொடுந்தொற்றின் தாக்கமும் கொரோனா கொடுந்தொற்றின் பயமும் கொரோனா கொடுந்தொற்றின் மயக்கமும் வாழ்வீர்கள் வளத்தொடு நல் ஞானம் யோகத்தொடு நாமே நிம்மோடு நானே நீயாய் நீயே நானாய் நல்வாழ்வு வாழ்வீர்கள். 8இல் 1 செய்தாலும் கொரோனா உங்களை எட்டவிடாது காப்பு.
So let us understand Devi Parashakti's revelation map in English. The Devi revealed, "O humans, media, wherever I am residing, worshipping me by doing the fire walking, applying turmeric in the chest, drinking neem juice, and meditating on me every day, being in the unclutched state, filling with eternal bliss."
Doing ajapa japa of the cosmic sound, Shiva, Shiva, or forgetting, in the Arunachala Spurana that blossoms as Aham, Aham, in the state of Ananda Spurana. Everyone who thinks on me through these 8 ways, they will not have effects of corona. They don't have fear and delusion of corona. You will live with prosperity. One of these 8 ways, I will protect you. Corona will not reach you. Don't have fear, O people, be blissful.
Protect all of humanity from COVID-19. Let us now review each of these methods and understand the science and benefits of each method.
So let's see the first method, which is praying and meditating on Devi Parashakti. So there's a study published by Healthline, and it gives 12 science-based benefits of meditation. Controls anxiety, promotes emotional health, it enhances self-awareness, lengthens attention span, may reduce age-related memory loss, can generate kindness, may help fighting addictions, improves sleep, helps control pain, can decrease blood pressure, and is accessible everywhere and anywhere.
And in this article from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, it states how meditation has not just an effect on the mental well-being, but also has an impact on the physical well-being as well.
And another study by Cambridge University Press reiterates the necessity of meditation during the times of COVID, the crisis such as COVID-19. So here you can see the study by Cambridge University Press.
And a study published in Everyday Health, studying how prayer and spirituality protect the emotional health. It states that it offers a bigger sense of purpose. The revised report published in Health Psychology found that when researchers followed 191 people with congestive heart failure for 5 years, they found that those who reported feeling spiritual peace and who also made some healthy lifestyle changes were significantly more likely to live longer than their peers. And people with major depressive disorder or chronic medical illness who report high levels of religiosity, July 25th, depression and anxiety.
So now let us watch a video where the avatar himself directly demonstrates how meditation directly impacts our mind and our brain.
Participates and encourages scientific researchers to derive evidences for meditation and healing through meditation. Dr. R. Murli Krishna, President COO, Integris Mental Health and James L. Hall Jr., Center for Mind, Body and Spirit, Oklahoma in US, and his team invited Nithyananda to derive scientific evidences for meditation and the state of his enlightenment.
When Swamiji came, I have requested him to do one thing. I asked him, would you be willing to undergo some scientific investigation of the meditation process? He very cheerfully agreed without one complaint. He went for 3 repeat sessions for PET scanning and 3 repeat sessions for quantitative EEG sessions. So we did that because if scientific findings are verifiable, they're replicable. You can replicate them, duplicate them. So Swamiji went through those sessions and we found some interesting findings.
In PET scan, they inject a radioactive dye which goes and sits in parts of the brain that are active. In the normal, non-meditative state, the brain is very active. And when we are seeing someone, the rear end of the brain, the visual cortex, is very active, as shown in the diagram.
Usually the brain is so active, there are 100 billion brain cells there. But what meditation does is something very interesting. It shows the frontal lobes getting more active. The frontal lobe is where you have judgment, wisdom, reasoning. Here are some of the brain scans I'm going to share with you. This is alert, non-meditative state. The second one is 30 meditation, and here is a deep, deep level of meditation where it lights up significantly right here, right in the middle, probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches deeper. What's interesting was Swami was inside, and that's the last part of that one. See that light right here? So what's interesting was I've never seen that before in my life. So the other parts I've seen may not be to the extent that Swamiji showed, but this is something interesting. There is something called dopamine, which is a chemical our brain is involved in. Dopamine is produced mostly in this area. And when you have any pleasure, transmits messages of pleasure. Basically evokes pleasure. If you eat, the same thing is with visual pleasures you have, beautiful people. But what's interesting is that you and I have the potential to create our own dopamine in a big way. So I named it, for lack of a word in the past, the D spot, which is a dopamine spot. If you can discover your D spot, you got it made in life. The D really stands for divine spot. The D also stands for delight and the dopamine spot. What's also interesting is that he could at will go in and out of those states. Those are some of the findings I want to share with you. There's so much more talk about physiology of mind and brain and the body. It's a fascinating field that this is something that all human beings can relate to, can apply in our own lives. Not only a sophisticated knowledge, but these things have application in daily life for all of us.
Nithyananda's system of free healing, known as Nithya Spiritual Healing, has been baffling the medical world, curing diseases from migraine to cancer. Qualified people are also initiated to become healers. The complete report of the research conducted on Nithyananda's neurological system can be found in the book Mystic Phenomena
Yes, and now let us look at what the Supreme Pontiff has revealed about the power of prayer.
If you are not is the best thing in your life, you are tortured, you are abused, your divine rights are violated. If you are constantly inspired to do yoga early morning, Brahma Muhurta time, and everyday puja, sit that 30-40 minutes and melt down by feeling connection and to bust your stress. I tell you, prayer is the best stress buster. Deep feeling connection and tears rolling in your eyes and melting down. Prayer to Paramashiva. Intense yearn Paramashiva. Nothing can be compared to that to bust your stress. I tell you, every day puja is an ultimate recharging experience. If you do every day puja, the kind of the stress-free life you will live, your whole biological clock will be aligned to Kailasa. I tell you, I have seen the people who have the habit of Nitya Puja live long. Not just long, happy. In my whole life, it is Nitya Puja, Puja, that gave me all the best things of life. Every day puja, relating with the deities is the best stress buster. Touch the deities, do decoration, dress up. Even now, my best time of the day is when I sit with my deities. When I sit with my deities, dress up, talk to them, intensely pray, deeply connect and pray. Understand? You do not know the power of Archavatara. God landing in physical deity form. Never underestimate the power of Archavatara. Living avatar can do to you, an Archavatara can do. Atma Linga I am giving to all of you. Literally.
Yes, and the next method revealed by Devi Parashakti is surrendering to Devi through social media. So what does this really mean? During the Akashic readings, Devi Parashakti gives us the opportunity to connect with her through various social media platforms and attends individually to our prayers and showers us with blessings and blessings. Let us now see how we can connect with Devi Parashakti through social media.
So on YouTube, and then you can ask your questions in the comment section.
Yes, and the next way is by liking and following the Kailasa's SAYUJYA Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. And then during the live Parashakti Akashic reading, asking your questions in the live video in the comment section and you can ensure that Devi will surely attend to you, whether she answers you directly or not.
On this Twitter handle. And you can ask your questions in the reply section of the tweet with the hashtag AskTheAvatar.
Yes, and the next way is by connecting with Devi on Instagram. You can follow Sri Nithyananda on Instagram, and you can ask your questions in the comment section of the video, of the photo. The WhatsApp chat box that pops up, and you can ask your questions directly here.
So now let's watch a video where Devi Parashakti is blessing people. An introduction to Devi Parashakti.
காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி விமாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமா நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி.
Yeah, and you can ensure that you and are protected during pandemic.
Fire walking wherever she is residing.
Yes. So Supreme Concept of Hinduism has revealed that fire walking is an alchemy process. And in the words of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism itself, our rishis and munis have been adepts and masters in every field, whether health or keeping the society safe in every field. So all the vratams, the pujas, the spiritual techniques, religious rituals, anything they design is highly scientific and directly useful to the life. Coronavirus will not affect you at all because at fire walking time, that's for to protect yourself from any virus or any problem. It's actually a powerful technique. It's a very powerful technique followed in those days, especially during this season.
You are protected already from corona problem. You will not be affected at all. Corona will not work on you. It will not affect you. And don't worry, it's a traditional way of making you immune. Actually, it's a traditional vaccination process. It's 11 feet length and burning like charcoal on which you are supposed to walk, with the traditional powerful music which activates your limb system. That mukulam, we call it, in the back of the neck. This music will feel like it is hitting the back of your neck, and your whole detox system will be awakened. In that peak altered state of consciousness, you should walk on fire. Not just like that you will walk. You will first walk, trigger the detox system, and then walk on the fire, 11 feet fire.
And if you do for one fire walking, you are absolutely protected from corona. Pray to Mahamadi and do the fire walking. That is it. It's like a traditional, powerful vaccination. Pray to Parashakti Mahamadi, do the Bhakti Vratam, and do this traditional fire walking. You are absolutely protected from coronavirus. No need to panic. Traditional vaccination, traditional, natural, organic, no bad side effect vaccination is the fire walk.
So now let us watch a video where the Supreme Point of Hinduism speaks on the science behind firewalking. He reveals the science behind firewalking.
Means balancing the system and awakening the whole conscious. Some parts of your body becomes insensitive to the existence because of the job it is doing, like a feet. Because of the continuous walking, it becomes insensitive. Your cheeks, how they are sensitive, they don't become they lose sensitivity to the reality. But for the complete Kundalini awakening, your whole body needs to be alive and experiencing the reality and ability to experience the higher consciousness. That is the reason we have the process of firewalking.
Where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself does the firewalking.
சத்தியம் காத்திடும் உத்தமத்தியே சத்குருவாய் வந்த நித்திய தாயே வேதங்கள் அவனியை பேணும் ஞானமும் நீயே ஆனந்தத்தியே நித்யானந்தேஸ்வரி தீனிலே பிறந்தவளே நித்ய ஆனந்தத்தியே நித்யானந்தேஸ்வரி தர்ம மண்ணில் வென்றிட வந்தாய் கர்மங்களை கொன்றிட வந்தாய் நித்யானந்த தர்ம மண்ணில் வென்றிட வந்தாய்
Now that we have understood about what Hinduism says about firewalking, let's look at what modern science has studied about firewalking. A study was conducted by the U.S. National Department of National Study of Medicine, the National Institute of Health, regarding the various effects and benefits of firewalking, and it found that firewalking increases levels of happiness and lowers fatigue levels in people who participated in firewalking versus those who did not participate in firewalking.
Now let us look at the fourth method, which is applying turmeric on your chest, drinking neem.
And the benefits of neem juice as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism itself.
Bididi. It is not, I'm not talking from air, I'm talking from ground. From the day we came till now, we have water for 10,000 people to live comfortably in that very land. It's only pouring, pouring. Karumari's grace. Wherever we started ashram, nature completely cooperates because we know biology, whole biology thinks. If you are having bitter relationships in your life, just start drinking bitter. Understand, if you are irritated, even if you don't react, the key, you will see you release sweet kind of vibes. Take neem juice, you release healing, compassionate vibes. A woman who applies neem powder and takes bath, who applies hamai, that neem paste and turmeric powder. If a woman takes bath with that, she is equivalent to Mahamai. She is embodiment of Karumari because she will be manifesting that same vibes of Karumari. People start doing all these activities like applying neem paste and taking bath, applying haritaki powder and taking bath, applying turmeric powder and taking bath, applying basma and taking bath, especially for men, basma, for women, neem paste and turmeric paste. All four can be used by both all genders. That is different. If you want specific, I'll recommend the neem and turmeric for female body, haritaki and basma for male body. Understand your whole biology things. Working on whole biology changes the whole life. So, now with this understanding the whole biology things, think Mahavagya. This is Ajapa Japa. Think Mahavagya. With the understanding your whole biology thinks. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Blessings to all of you. Start manifesting powers. Now,
And now that we've understood the benefits of being peace as revealed by the three parts of Buddhism, let us look at what the benefits of turmeric are. Of course, traditionally, turmeric is known for its anti-invasion of B cells, B cells, macrophages, neutrophils, natural killer cells, and dendritic cells. And curcumin can also downregulate the expression of various pro-inflammatory cytokines and chemokines. And this was published in the National Center for Biotechnology and Information in the US. And this research shows that turmeric can modulate the activation of various immune cells, as well as enhance the body's antibody response. So with a strengthened immune system, you will be much more likely to stay healthy and be able to maintain active lifestyle.
And a study by India.com says that neem can help you in fighting against coronavirus.
And turmeric and neem are also effective against coronavirus, according to a KGM study.
So now let us look at the fifth method, which is with a complete mind, applying banana peel and onions on your heels and going to bed, going to sleep.
So it's a very simple way to do this. So you can just put onion on the heel or a banana peel on the heel and put a sock over it and go to sleep. And this will completely detoxify your entire body when you wake up. So this is a very simple method to detoxify your body and to protect yourself from COVID-19, of course. And in Medical Daily, it was published that onions contain a high amount of sulfur compounds, which not only give onions the recognizable smell, but are also powerful detoxifying agents. And with more than 100 sulfur-containing compounds, which are what cause the eyes to tear, onions can help prevent and treat ailments from diabetes to heart disease, which is why onions are very well known in Ayurveda, traditional medicine, for their medicinal properties, and that is what they are used for. And in an article published in the Journal of Phytotherapy on the detoxifying effect of onion, it states that compounds from onion have been reported to have a range of health benefits, which includes anti-carcinogenic properties, anti-platelet activity, anti-thrombotic activity, anti-asthmatic, and antibiotic effects.
So now let us look at the sixth.
Yes, and let us first understand the science of untouching as revealed by the degree concept of Buddhism.
Yes, we can project the video and play the video. So this science of untouching works. I request them to be volunteered to project the video.
The brain is the organ which controls our whole physical being. Once our brain has been imbalanced, it will then transmit that imbalance throughout the whole body. Thought forms are pure energy that have the ability to influence people and air field, which may be measured by such instruments as an encephalograph. This electromagnetic field is generated by the brain every time we think, and as our mind is never still, we may be compared to perpetual power generators. Fear produces nervous disorders. Anger produces headaches and violence. Confused thoughts produce congestion and ill health. Depression causes cancer, tumors, mental diseases, and lowering of the immune system, causing death through own willpower. Our thoughts generate intricate energy patterns which can be detected by sensitive equipment and seen by clairvoyant individuals. These energy patterns are known as thought forms. Surprise we are and release them into the environment. Although we cannot see them, the thought forms have as real an existence as any other form of energy. Most people can sense others' thought forms, and a continuous energetic exchange happens between people, about which we are usually unaware. This also explains why we sometimes take a sudden liking or dislike to a certain person directly on meeting them. We just catch their vibes. Unclutching is a guide for equanimity and enlightenment. Thoughts are like bubbles in a fish tank. Just as bubbles in a fish tank rise from the bottom, our thoughts also rise in the same manner. When one bubble comes and reaches the surface of the water, the next bubble starts and the third bubble starts. Because the bubbles are rising at high speed, they look like a continuous stream. But our mind is not a continuous stream. There is always a gap between neutral space between two thoughts is our original state, the pure silence. It is a state of pure consciousness, the state of God. Since the gap or the neutral space between two thoughts is too small, we think all thoughts are connected and form a shaft. But there is always a gap between two thoughts. a rope between two trees. The rope is a shaft that we create by connecting two thoughts. In the middle of the rope, they secure a wooden stick. The stick is our mind. The rope is tied at the midpoint of the stick. When a bird comes and sits on the stick, the bird's own weight turns the whole stick upside down. It turns topsy-turvy. The moment it turns upside down and loses its sense of balance, it feels totally shaken and tightens its grip on the stick. It simply holds onto the stick as if its life depends on it. Similarly, we connect thoughts and form a shaft out of it and live in the fear that if we drop our mind, we might be lost. We might lose our identity. Because it is hanging upside down, it thinks, if I unclutch from this stick, I will fall and die. Is similar to the fear that if we start trusting that we are unconnected, unclutched, independent and illogical thoughts, we might be lost. If the bird lets go and relaxes, it may flutter to balance for a moment or two. When it leaves the stick, maybe for a few seconds, it will fall, but then it will adjust itself and start flying. In the same way, we hold on to whatever we think is our identity and security, our education, our mind, our life, our relationships, or our bank balance. That if we drop our mind, at that moment we can become a Paramahamsa. That very moment we can be liberated. In Mundaka Upanishad, there is a story which explains, there is a huge tall tree, and in the tallest branch of the tree, there is a golden bird sitting unclutched from there to various branches eating fruits. When it eats a bitter fruit, it feels bad. Whenever she eats the bitter fruit, she sees the bird which is looking above, silently, like Dakshinamurti, and feels, why I should not be like that bird. But unfortunately, when the same bird, when it eats tasty fruit, it forgets the bird sitting above it. In the same way, she keeps battling between branches, eating bitter and tasty fruits again and again. One day, as a small bird flies up higher, and there is no difference between them both, and realizes her original state. The small bird realizes that she also can be in the same state of the golden bird and become a Paramahamsa. This moment, trust yourself. Don't bother about losing your identity. Just trust yourself and let go of your identity. You will immediately become a Paramahamsa and be liberated. All you need to do is to trust that you're unclutched. Dropping the conclusions is unclutching.
Yes. So now, whenever you have time, you can take a few minutes and experience the space of untouching. You can sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Have your eyes closed and intensely chant the Mahavakya. Do not engage with any thoughts or emotion. Paramashivoham. So when you have time, you can do this unclutching meditation. And the seventh step is to do the ajapa japa of the cosmic sound, Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. So a study conducted by the US National Library of Medicine on the benefits of chanting clearly establishes how doing the ajapa japa, the chanting, has a direct and positive benefit for the physical health and mental well-being. And the study correlates that chanting of the ajapa japa to the vagus nerve stimulation used as a treatment for depression and epilepsy. And another study conducted by Dr. Masaru Emoto establishes that human intention research clearly depicts how, when water is being exposed to positive sound vibrations, the molecular formation in the water changes to a pleasant formation, whereas any negative sound vibration or words can disfigure or distort the water molecular formation. So here you can see the pictorial depiction of how the water molecular formations respond to different words being uttered. And this research shows the impact of few words on one glass of water. But imagine what happens inside your body, which is composed of up to 60% of water when you chant the japa japa, the chanting of the powerful sacred mantras. So here you can see the pictorial depiction of the water molecular formation, metal music, or words like I will kill you or you're a fool. And you can also see the water molecular formation of the water before and after a Buddhist prayer. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism beautifully says, if 10,000 people can do this just for, we are not all islands. These are fundamental truths. When you start unclutching, Kailasa starts experiencing the joy, bliss of you unclutching. Nothing goes waste in this cosmos. So this is revealed by the Supreme Point of Hinduism himself. And if you would like to be a part of the Global Unclutching Initiative, you can register and sign up at this link, kailasa.tv. Method, the eighth method that Devi Parashakti has revealed, is to be in the state beyond any remembrance or forgetting in the Arunachala Spurana that blossoms as aham in the Ananda Spurana. So just by the simple remembrance, the mere remembrance of the divine, just go beyond the state of any remembrance or forgetting. And with that, we now come to a conclusion of this segment where we have learned the eight methods that they refer to the next segment of this program, where all of you will be learning how you can make your offerings and offer your gratitude to Devi Parashakti.
Now that we have understood what Devi Parashakti has revealed as the 8 methods to protect yourself from COVID-19, let's now enter into this next segment. As they revealed is to pray to Devi Parashakti and meditate upon her. Best way you can pray to Devi and connect with Devi is through these various offerings. So you can connect with Devi and offer your pure love and devotion to Devi Parashakti. So an offering is a giving of a divine gift of pure love, devotion, and oneness. And it consists of 2 aspects, the giving and the accepting. And only when the divine accepts what one offers, the offering becomes complete. Offerings are not made out of fear nor out of greed, but when in Avatar land, the offerings are a mere part of this grand Leela played out for the only purpose of enlightenment. And the Dhyana Shloka for Devi Parashakti states,
the Dhyana Shloka for Devi Parashakti, it says, Indu nibhaveda karavani nayanam syat वराभय जपाक्षर सरयुक्तम् अंगहिमभूषण विचित्रवसनं स्यात् तुङ्गमकुटोज्ज्वल मनोन्मणि स्वरूपम्. And the meaning of this verse: moonlight blessing hands and one hand with japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments in wonderful clothes and shining crown. Her name is Manonmani. And another Dhyana shloka from Shashini Bhavadanam Vedahastam Dadhanam Savye Padmam Varadam Apare Chabhayam Shakshamalam Divyairabharanair Vibhushita Tanum Brahmadhibi Pujitam Devi Meva Manonmanim Pratidinam Kamarthadatrim Shubham. And the meaning of this verse: I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes, glowing like a moon, and holding the Veda, lotus, and gracing with blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments. She is worshipped by Brahma and other many gods, and showers auspicious boons for all actions every day. And the next of the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference for the sacred element of gold. In the Hindu tradition, the various offerings made to the divine, and it's considered a very sacred element. So let us see the scriptural reference for Janmanedam Hiranyam Agnirekam Priyatamam Bhabuva Somasyaikyam Insitasya Parapatata Apamekam Vedasam Veta Ahutatte Hiranyam Trividastavai Vishe. The translation: triply born by birth is this gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni. One fell away from the Soma when it was heard. One they call the seed of virtuous and powerful Apa, the watery molecules. Let that triple gold be for your long life. Yes. Sorry for the technical thing. Gold is a divine element. It purifies anything it touches. It is an element of great The vibration of gold has the power to infuse sattva energy and positive thought currents in anyone who wears and in anyone who sees or operates in its vicinity. The gold is present in all scriptures, in the Hindu scriptures of the Agamas, Vedas, Shrutis, Smritis, Itihasas, Puranas. In all the Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly displayed. Everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold. Ritual feasts were offered in gold bricks. When one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold. The street would have huge columns and huge archways made of gold. Horses and cows were dressed in gold. This river was called Hiranmaya, the river of gold in Rigveda. The river Saraswati was called Hiranyavartini in Atharva Veda. Gold is the supreme element for offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. Temples are constructed and paved in gold. Deities are made in gold and decked and adorned in gold because it preserves the enlightenment energy for thousands of years and it lasts forever.
Yes, and the first offering that we have is the E-Hundi offering. This is a offering of a general donation. And just like you would in any temple, you would just offer a few dollars to the Hundi, and you can just offer out of your love and devotion to Devi Parashakti. This is a thank you for manifesting in your life. So it is described that Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. She can be won over through true devotion, and she removes all fears. And if there is any fear in the minds of the devotee, the autumn, the season, but rather the autumn of our lives, when our thoughts turn more and more inwards and the role of the divine becomes much more known and clearly understood, the need for Devi worship becomes much stronger. Devi is described as the one who bestows happiness on all her devotees. So you can offer your gratitude and devotion to Devi Parashakti by offering your kanika, and your name shall be chanted during.
And the next offering is the Sankalpa Chanti, the offering of the conscious resolution. And a verse from the Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34 describes Sayaitan mohyate vishwam shaivam vishwam prasuyate saya chitta vijanam tushtarutim prayaschati. The meaning of this verse, it says, the goddess enchants this universe and she herself gives birth to this universe. That goddess being prayed without interest in anything gives that knowledge that leads to salvation and gives wealth in the materialistic sense, desires and wishes that you yearn for. So you can make the offering of the Sankalpa Chanti on the website www.kailasamila.com/sevas.
Next offering that we have is the Sahasranam Padnakatu, the offering of a gold coin with the inscription of the various names of Devi Parashakti. And Devi is known as Nama Parayana Vita, the one who likes the repetition of her various names. And in this offering, you can offer any one of Devi Parashakti's various names. And this is a very special puja and unique archana offered to the Mahameru of Devi Parashakti, and are not just the names of Devi Parashakti, but the various divine qualities of Devi Parashakti, whether it is her overflowing compassion or her infinite wisdom. Whichever quality of Devi you connect with most, you can offer that as a gold coin to Devi Parashakti and be blessed with the Ananta Kalyana Gunas of Devi herself.
The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Mukta Anguti, the finger ring, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl. And Devi Parashakti, Meenakshi, is described as the one who's adorned with pearls. And this verse describes Devi's splendor adorned with pearls. It says, Muktahara lasat kirita ruchiram purnendu vaktra prabham shinjannupra kinkini manidharam padma prabhabhasuram sarvabhita palapradam girisutam vani rama sevitam. And the verse describes, I bow to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has garlands of pearls and face shining like a full moon, who wears anklets that are studded with gemstones and has small bells, who is shining like the splendor of lotus, who grants all the wishes, the daughter of the mountain, who is worshipped by goddesses Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to the goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. And if you resonate, if this description, the splendor of Devi Meenakshi Parashakti, wearing the garland of pearls, if this is the form that's dear to you, that you hold dear in your heart, you can make the offering of the garland of pearls to be showered by the compassion and pure love of Devi Parashakti in all of your business endeavors.
Next offering is the Sarna Padma Pushpa, the golden lotus. And in the Kamikagama, it's described that all the kalashas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with a neat cloth. They should be adorned with the lotus flower made of gold. So you can see the significance of this golden lotus as it is used in many rituals in Hinduism of Paramashiva. Almost everything in the worship of the ultimate involves the consecration of deities of worship using the lotus flower, lotus leaf, lotus pericarp, lotus petals, and lotus is a very divine flower. The Shakti of Paramashiva is called the lotus. The base of the Paramashiva linga is the lotus, and the disciple of Paramashiva is also considered a lotus ready to bloom. So you can offer the word of Devi Parashakti herself amidst your in any and every adverse situation in your life. Just as the lotus blooms in the murky waters, you too shall bloom in any situation in your life.
Parashakti is the offering of the gold touring, the Swarnametti. And Devi are more beautiful than even the lotus flower. This verse describes, it says, Nakadhi didi sanchanna namajjanatamo guna padadvaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha. The translation for this verse, it says, you whose brightness from the toenails destroy the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees who prostrate at your feet. You whose brightness from your feet overpower that of the lotus flower too. And you can offer the gold touring to Devi Parashakti to adorn her sacred lotus feet and be in constant gratitude for receiving her blessings in even the most difficult aspects of your life.
Next offering is the Svatna Mantika, the gold hairline jewel. And the Mantika represents the nectar flowing from the Sahasrara Chakra, which is fully open. And Devi is described as Shuddha Sarvi Varshini, the one who makes the nectar flow in all of our nerves from the Sahasrara, the one who gives the very pleasant experience of the ultimate. So when you offer this Svatna Mantika, the gold hairline jewelry, to Devi Parashakti, you will be blessed with an overflowing Sahasrara and the complete completion you can offer the mantika to Devi and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of complete completion and of overflowing gratitude.
And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the sacred worship offered from disciple to Guru, the traditional offering of gratitude, that her nails have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi. And it is described that she removes the tamas, the tamoguna, the ignorance in the minds of the devotees who prostrate at her feet, and they attain the supreme knowledge. And today you can make the offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja for Devi Parashakti through manifesting through the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhana, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and receive the blessings and all the auspiciousness in your life, the blessings and grace of Devi Parashakti and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. You can make this offering on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas.
The last offering that we have available today is the Vastra Seva, the offering for each and every one of you. And the Vastra Seva, you can offer the Vastra Seva and be blessed with all protection on your path to enlightenment by both Devi Parashakti and Swamiji himself.
So here you have all the offerings, summary of the various offerings being made available through the website. The traditional offerings of e-hundi, which you can offer in multiple currencies and in any amount of your choice. The offering of the Sankalpa chanting described with the sacred name of Devi Parashakti from one of her 1008 names. You can offer the coins, to offer the Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring with the pearl, embedded pearl, and the feet of Devi Parashakti. You can offer the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry that represents the overflowing nectar of gratitude from the Sahasrara. And you can also offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the traditional offering of gratitude from disciple to Guru. And you can offer the Vastra Seva, the offering of the sacred cloth. And all of these traditional offerings for the divine are made available. So if you would like to offer make any of these offerings as your expression of your sacred sentiments to Devi Parashakti, as you get ready to receive her darshan today, you can make the offerings on the website, and we'll now project the website so you are able to see where the offerings can be made. So the website for the offerings is www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. Parashakti Bhava Samadhi Darshan today. And here you have the link for the e-hundi, and you can submit the form on step 1 and make your intention and receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti to manifest your intention into reality. So you can make the offering of the e-hundi here, which can be made $, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, the Indian rupees, the Singaporean dollar, the Malaysian ringgit, the Great Britain pound, and the Chinese yen. And you can make the offering in various Alankara Seva or the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, any of the Sevas. You can make the offerings on the website, Pushpada Swarnameti, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, and all of the traditional offering of Seva and Alankara are made available on the website. So you can click on this link on step 2 and make your offerings. And if you would also like to join as an e-Kailashian on the YouTube channel, you can join. You can click on the join button on the YouTube channel and join as a member and even be able to ask for your prayers and blessings on the YouTube live chat. You can post your messages and any prayers, any blessing requests that you would like to make to Devi Parashakti during the darshan, you can post on the YouTube live chat. You can also click on the subscribe button and be notified of the live. If there are any special events and announcements, you can receive all the notifications from the YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. So go ahead and join as an e-Kailashian member and post your comments on the live chat. As a member, you'll be able to post any messages on the live chat. So go ahead and join as a member, and you can with Parashakti during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. You can post on the live chat. So again, the website for the traditional offerings is www.kailasamailer.com/sevas, and you can make a note of this link and make your offerings, any of the traditional offerings that you would wish to offer for the darshan. You can make the offerings on the website as you get ready to receive Devi Parashakti. And with that, now we'll be moving to the next segment where we'll be learning more about the various facilities being made available for the well-being of humanity as guided by Devi Parashakti and by the Supreme Portrait of Hinduism through the various spiritual de facto embassies of Kailasa.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Yes. Nithyananda, everyone, welcome back. So now, we all just saw how we can offer our gratitude to Devi Parashakti. And we now have a very exciting news for all of you, AM IST. So we will now be learning about Bhagavan Sundareshwara. So today, through this Darshan of Irenar Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva, you will be able to manifest the superconscious experience of the Shiva Sayujya Samadhi space. So get ready to make human beings into multi. So now let's watch a small video, a small clipping where Bhagavan Sundareshwara introduces himself.
Shave, shave, shave. Paramashiva, I will manifest the physics of my existence. Cognize this in your Hridaya Akasha, in the Gandha. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva. The countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me, gets liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get rejuvenated,
to get deluded.
So let's just reiterate and again see what the Bhagavan Sundareshwara revealed. He says, I will manifest the physics of my existence. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, the countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics. Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated, I am the space. And all of us know that the world today is going through a lot of suffering, especially for the past 1.5 to 2 years, almost 2 years now. Change warns that we are on a crash course towards catastrophe if global temperatures are allowed to rise. The window to slow or even halt some of. So now let us watch a small video on the state of our world today.
In 2019, fire was spreading throughout our planet, quite literally, in places like Australia and the Amazon basin, where forest blazes supercharged by climate change wreaked havoc. In other places, mass protests flared up, fueled by a combination of job insecurity, growing inequalities, and discontent with the current economic, social, and environmental status quo. The little growth we have had has failed to reach those who need it the most. Progress towards higher living standards has stalled for many countries and vulnerable groups of people. This has only deepened inequalities which were already growing in many countries, spurred on by automation.
Yes, so here you can see a few more pictures of how our world is today. And according to the World Health Organization, the total cases globally for COVID-19 is about 221 million plus till date. And Healthline.com states that new COVID-19 cases have risen to more than 150,000 per day in the United States. And experts warn that with emerging variants, it could lead to another surge in cases. And souls, listen intensely. Your impossibility and irresponsibility made you surrender yourselves to the delusion. Cognize the ultimate truth. Sundareshwara Paramashiva exists. Sundareshwara Paramashiva exists. The moment you remember me, call me. I am here for you. And Irayana Sundareshwara Paramashiva is the greatest and unique manifestation of Paramashiva and the complete manifestation. And he assumes the physical, subtle and light bodies as and when he wants, plays with all the physical realities and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds and removes, and deletes anything in the physical plane as and when he likes without giving a reason, just for fun. And sometimes Paramashiva manifests as Meenakshi and Sundareshwara as two bodies in one being, and sometimes as both in one body. That is the reason all his manifestations and plays are called the Thiruvalayadal, the Leela. And due to his causeless and limitless compassion, Irayana Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is manifesting in all his glory as the Purnavatara through the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pond of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And from the Shuddha Advaita Paramashiva SAYUJYA Samadhi space, Irayana Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is manifesting through the Supreme Manifestation, and through the Supreme Manifestation, he is giving us the Darshan, blessing us with boons, and continuing his divine leelas. And Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Form of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, just to continue his legacy and leela. And to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine leelas, performing miracles in the lives of all the Kailashans, all the devotees, attending to our prayers and giving glimpse, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole Madurai Shyamala Pita Sarvana Peetham. He has come as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam and as the supreme point of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity. And when you witness the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, your neurons will mirror that of the avatar. So just by sitting for the darshan and seeing Bhagavan Sundareshwara, your entire body can silently and without movement recreate what is happening distances far away, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. And as an effect of the mirroring of neurons, all the powerful cognitions and powers of Bhagavan Sundareshwara will be mirrored in you. So you can just exhale intensely whatever you have, and Paramashiva will inhale in you. So this is the God relation. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism beautifully says, nothing is more powerful than power manifestation science. It is the most exciting spiritual science. You will fall in love with Paramashiva every minute. If he manifests, you know he is real and he is manifesting. Even if you don't manifest what you declare, you will manifest the jnana and vijnana, the knowledge and understanding, and possibilities and powers of Paramashiva will manifest in all of us. So now let us see a small introduction of who the Supreme Point of Hinduism is, the one who is giving us this pure and good. So the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, the Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the 293rd Jagat, and the Supreme Point of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Point of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities a lifestyle for humanity. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism is ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of Kailasa and the present Mahamandleshwar of Mahanirvani Akada, which is the largest apex monastic order. So here you can all see pictures of how, from a very young age itself, the Supreme Point of Hinduism has been ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of the Kailasa. And the next, you can see here now, the Supreme Point of Hinduism is doing puja and inaugurating the deities as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamsha Samrajya. And here you can see the Supreme Point of Hinduism being coordinated as the emperor of the Suryavamsha Samrajya. And here you can see the Supreme Point of Hinduism being coordinated as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam of the Kailasa Pitam. So you can see the 292nd Guru Mahasanidhanam and also Swamiji being coordinated as the 293rd. And here you can see all the senior sannyasis and heads in the Mahanirvani Akada are coordinating the Supreme Point of Hinduism as the Mahamandleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akada. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism is also the 1008th Acharya Mahamandleshwar of the Atalakada, which is established by Mahaganapati. The present 23rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of Dharma Mukti Swarga Paramadinam, and is elected in 2015 as the Supreme Point of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism is also revered as a teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read, and watched. He has authored 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 different languages, which of these books and articles have been sold, read, and downloaded by millions around the world. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism has given over 10,000 hours of discourses and reaching and enriching over 1 billion lives digitally, and is respected as a commentator of all sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva. Hinduism is also honored as a leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized leader, the reviver of 108 ancient Hindu sampradayas, including the Rudra Kanyas and Rudras, Rishis and Rishikas, Bhairavas and Bhairavis, and Sannyas, and is the establisher of the largest Hindu university, Kailasa ecosystems, the founder and reviver of over 100 Saivamapithas around the world, and is the collector of the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism has also established, as we've seen, he has established various de facto embassies around the world. So here you can see a few of the spiritual de facto embassies that are established by the Supreme Court of Hinduism. So you can see 22 Hindu universities and the Jnanalayas, the libraries, 38 temple monastery complexes, 2,175 Paramashiva Sena Shakhas, 1,898 youth centers, 19 Hindu kingdoms, the Sarvagna 25 Kailasas, 1,898 ASP centers, 120 temples, 5,334 healing centers, 22 food banks, 12 animal shelters, 34 satsang temples, 418 Palaka mandirs, and 2,100. See how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's peace walks cover 100,000 plus kilometers, and as he travels around the world to spread and gift the science of healing to 200 journeys done by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, various yatras by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism throughout the year. So you can see the Pada Yatra, then the World Tour, then Himalayan Yatra, the Kailasa Yatra, the Kodikan Ratha Yatra, then the Cambodia Yatra, the Bali Yatra, the Kailash Yatra, and much more. So now let us learn more about who Bhagavan Sundareshwara is. That was a small introduction of who the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is. But of course, there is much more to who the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is. And now let us learn who Bhagavan Sundareshwara, more about who Bhagavan Sundareshwara is. So Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampurul is the manifestation of the beauty of the cosmos in flesh and bones. Irayanar Sundareshwara is the embodiment of superconsciousness. And Bhagavan Sundareshwara is the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, who assumes the physical, subtle and light bodies as and when he alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in the physical plane as and when he likes, without even a reason. And Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru is the greatest, unique and complete manifestation of Paramashiva. And is the embodiment of superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all its glory. And he came down in the most handsome form to marry Devi Meenakshi and administer the city of Madurai. And Sundareshwara is the embodiment of superconsciousness, expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. And he came down as in the most handsome form, known as the Kailasa Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pita, is the oldest Hindu papal state and enlightenment ecosystem, and was established by Paramashiva himself. And the kingdom of Madurai was later revived by Lord Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who as the deities and incarnates of Paramashiva ruled over Madurai, and revived the foundation pillars of it as the highest living stream of spiritual sciences. And to ensure that this tradition continues to elevate humanity for millennia, they enthroned their direct representatives and their divine energies in the form of a continuous lineage of living masters, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, with the responsibility to train and groom the kings in administration, constitution, and governance, acting as regents. They also performed the spiritual initiations on the kings and the citizens of the kingdom, imparting the enlightenment science to them. So here you can see Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and one of the first Guru Mahasannidhanams, which they enthroned as their direct representative, which is Tirujnana Sambandha. And beautifully, there's a Shastra Pramana which says that this supreme discipline of Adi Shaiva tradition has been coming down through the continuous lineage of Guru disciple, Adi Shaiva Guru Parampara, from time immemorial. This has been formulated for the attainment of complete liberation from the repeated phenomenon of birth and death. This is supreme in its kind and concerned with the ultimate benefit of all the souls. And Kailasa Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam's rare and sacred lineage of pontiffs has been systematically carried over in an unbroken progression from ages, and the chosen emissaries of Lord Paramashiva and Devi, who are the Guru Mahasannidhanams of the Kailasa Nithyananda Paramashivam, are the directors of April 2012. Srila Sri Nithyananda Sri Jnanasambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal, who was formally appointed as the 290 inheritor, invested with all the powers, duties, and obligations to perform the rituals, spiritual, religious, and customary rites vested in the Kailasa Nithyananda, and has been reviving its spiritual, religious, and linguistic epicenters at the Shyamala Pita Sarvagnipeetham, the Madurai Adinam.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world. Legend says that Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself, who incarnated as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Malayadwaja Pandyan. An able queen and a fearless warrior, Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailasa, her eternal consort, and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence, and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The ordinary saints of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition, the story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving the ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen to desolate ruin. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1/5 to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new Arunagirinatha Jnana Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva,
Yogi, a pragmatic social visionary and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs. The traditional Adinam now has a website, and thousands participate in the morning worship and spiritual talks via live streaming and two-way video conferencing. Vast properties belonging to the Adinam are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity, and the neighboring villages are being adopted, with basic amenities, education, and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic Renaissance, for which India has already waited too long.
Here, I take the commitment. We will fulfill all the responsibilities of Madurai Adinam, make Hindu tradition, Saiva tradition alive, revived, lived, celebrated all over the world.
With a brand new pontiff at its helm, Madurai Adinam promises to be monges at Madurai Adinam mirror the changing role of spiritual organizations today as power centers and guiding forces, forging the enlightened government of the new world.
Yes, so that was a beautiful video on the history of the Kailasa and the Shyamala Peter Peter, the Madurai Adini. So now, actually, for all of us today, for all of humanity, out of the billions of people on planet Earth, we are the most blessed. As for us, Sundareshwara is not not a history, but a happening. And Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Court of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Maha Sannidhanam, and to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leelas, performing miracles in the lives of all the Kailashans and all the devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuously giving us boons and continuing the legacy of the whole Mathuri, the Shyamala Peter Peter. He has come down as the 293rd Jagat Guru Maha Sannidhanam and as the Supreme Court of Hinduism to guide all of humanity. And each divine action that was performed became a divine energy and an independent entity. And if you connect with that energy, he will give you the same blessing of that energy. So understand that Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. So now let us look at the Leelas of Paramashiva. So in Hinduism, we actually have 64 arts, and here you can see the 64 Leelas as well of Bhagavan Sundareshwara. And the Tiruvalayadal Puranam is a collection of the 64 Leelas of Paramashiva from the 16th century, and it is a Shaivite devotional epic and a collection of stories by Paranjyoti Muni. And they describe the actions of Bhagavan Paramashiva on earth in a number of disguises to test his leaders. And as I said before, in the Vedic tradition, we have 64 different arts, and each leader is accompanied the you should have the mastery of medicine, the mastery of surgery, mastery in painting, mastery in dance, mastery on each art. And there was never ever such an amazing imagination or visualization of the ultimate without reducing its Ananta Kalyana Gunas into human level. So let us now watch a video where Swamiji speaks on the Shiva Leelas.
Let us start today's Satsang in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnanakarma Sannyasa Yoga, 32nd verse.
Evam bahuvidaha yajnaha vitatha brahmano mukhe karmajan vidditan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase.
Evam jnatva vimokshase. Translation: Thus, worship of the divine energies is performed in various ways. In the beginning of expansion, understand that all of them originate in actions. Knowing this, you will be liberated. Sri Krishna is revealing some of the mystical secrets possible. Please understand, one example I wanted to give. Brahma, in Hindu stories, Hindu Purana, Brahma becomes egoistic, removes the ego of Brahma and makes Brahma enlightened. This action, Shiva's energy coming out and removing the ego of Brahma and making him enlightened, this action becomes Kala Bhairava. So when you connect with Kala Bhairava and start worshipping the divine energy called Kala Bhairava, he removes your ego also and gives you enlightenment. Same way, Veerabhadra, Shiva's energy expanded and destroyed the collective negativity of Daksha, which causes suffering for himself and for others. Many times to others. Even though you know you are causing suffering to you and to others, but the pain pattern is so many people, they know if they are out of me, if they are away from me, they are going to create suffering for themselves. But their ego, arrogance is so strong, they can't live. They can't live around me. I have seen so many times, even devotees, they know if they listen to my teachings and live, they will be out of their sufferings and torture they are doing to themselves and to others. But they don't want to others. Shiva's energy which came out and destroyed the Daksha's negativity is Veerabhadra. Understand? Veerabhadra did not kill Daksha. He gave life back to Daksha. Of giving suffering to yourself and to others is called Veerabhadra. If you connect with this divine energy and pray, the patterns which create suffering for yourself and others will be destroyed. It's a beautiful Jan Viddidan Sarvan Evam Nyatva Vimokshase. Thus, worship of the divine energies is performed in various ways. In the beginning of expansion, understand that all of them originate in actions. Closed. Then start connecting. Understand? Krishna's Rasalila with Gopikas. It happened with the plants, trees, rocks, Yamuna, whole thing. And the Purnima Chandra, the full moon, with whole Gopikas were also happened to be there. That's all. It was not concentrated towards Gopikas. Having the sickening suffocation. Many times people do have this sickening suffocation. Come on, then expand. It is time. You meditate on Rasalila Krishna. So each action of divine, each action of an incarnation becomes independent energy by itself. Shiva's one action, cutting Brahma's head and giving him enlightenment, it became an independent energy called Kala Bhairava. And liberating him from negativity and negative patterns became independent divine energy called Veerabhadra. Shiva and giving them enlightenment becomes Dakshinamurti. Just each hand, when Shiva assumed the body and married Meenakshi and ruled. Just yesterday, I was reading the Akashic records in the night. I verified again and again. Earlier when I was seeing, I felt, yes, please understand, in this way, no other geographical place is equivalent to Madurai, where Shiva has taken 11 bodies to play just in Madurai. See, in one body he has played in many places. That record is there. When he assumed one body, he has gone to many places and did his 11 bodies to do Leelas in one place. Only in Madurai's history, the record is there. More than 11 bodies he has assumed at different times to play the Leelas. The Leela he performed, the first body he assumed to perform the Leelas in Madurai is marrying Meenakshi. To marry Meenakshi and all the Leelas related to that time, marrying Meenakshi and bringing Vaigai to Madurai, all those Leelas were performed in one body. That body is directly under the Sundareshwara's linga. In the main Garbha Mandir, under the Sundareshwara linga, that body is resting. It is there in Jiva Samadhi. River and converting all the foxes into horse to save his disciple Manikyavasagar. All those Leelas, around 40 years, our property near Dinamani Takis. There is a place in Madurai, near Dinamani Takis, there is a Samadhi. Inside Madurai Adinam property, it is called Sundaranar Samadhi. And Sundarananda's Jiva Samadhi, people used to think it is one of the 18 Siddhas. It is not one of the, of course, it is one in the 18, but Shiva himself assumed the human body and performed. 40 years he was in that body. That body is resting in Madurai, the place Dinamani Takis, opposite to that Takis, there is a property, belongs to Madurai Adinam property. There he is resting. And the third body, which he assumed to give sugar cane to stone elephant, and stone elephant ate that sugar cane. For that Leela, he assumed one more body that is there inside the temple under the Samadhi of, under the shrine of Ellamalla Sittar. Under his Murti, that third body is there. Still, I am not able to trace the other places of the remaining 8 bodies. I could see cosmically where are they, but in the Madurai map I am not able to pinpoint where the remaining 8 bodies are. Madurai map. And give you guys the exact points where the bodies he assumed are resting and radiating. I tell you, if you see from this angle, no other place, even in Kailash, is only one body is resting. There are 1 lakh enlightened beings' bodies are resting. That is different. But his own, the body which he used, only one body is resting. In Varanasi, 2 bodies are resting. Even in Thiruvannamalai, only one body, Arunagiri Yogeshwara's body, only is resting. I was shocked when I read yesterday the Akashic record. It was his favorite. Somehow, Madurai people had a very close, hearty connection with Mahadeva, even for small things, he will assume a body. Come here and play. This was the place where he was very playful and joyful, without any of the so-called social laws, regulations, rules, and the dharma which he himself created. Here, he has broken the laws for Madurai people. He has changed the social laws for Madurai people. He has broken all the moral rules for Madurai people. He has done everything possible. Socially accepted, unaccepted, legal, illegal, dharmic, adharmic. In which Shastra it is dharmic? You convert the wolves into horses and sell them, and after you sell and go away, all that fellows, they become overnight, they become again wolf and bite and kill all the remaining horses who are there. And that poor king is now pauper. In which dharma it is accepted? In which Shastra it is accepted? He has done everything. Everything possible. He comes down as a worker for the king ordered all the citizens of Madurai should take up one portion and cover it with mud and build an embankment. So all of them have taken up one portion. One old lady, Vandi, her job is that making all this and sell for people. Hundreds of shops. The outside street, they will be making these idlis and selling, breakfast and selling. It is still there. It's a tradition of Vandi. So she used to make this pittu and sell. Those days cover her portion, and she herself can't do. She is too old. She prays to Sundareshwara. This whole city still now, any problem, they don't trust anybody else. They just turn towards Sundareshwara. Towards Sundareshwara, oh Chokanada, Sundareshwara. This guy could have just one thought, the whole Vaigai would have built, add embankment automatically. He does not do that. He comes down, assuming human body, fit to as much as I want. But I will work only for 3 hours. He says, I will work only for 2 muhurta. 1 muhurta is 1.5 hours. I will work only for 2 muhurta, but you should give me as much as I want. This poor lady, she doesn't have anybody else. So she says, all right, go ahead. You can see what is puttu. Come on. Those days, breakfast. So she doesn't have anybody else. So no other option. She accepts the bargain. This fellow finally finishes eating everything she cooked. So he goes and lies down in the banks of Vaigai. I also traced the palace he had in Vaigai, just in between the mid of the water, drink and gamble. He will have all these bhutas around and they will play the dice. He will gamble with them. He was not a womanizer, but he used to drink and gamble. Anyhow, so he went and lie down in the bank of Vaigai. King comes in the east, all parts have been covered except his portion, the Vandi's portion. King got very annoyed and asked whose portion it is. They said this is Vandi, old lady's portion. He asked, naturally she won't be able to do. Who is doing for her? They showed this guy has been employed by her, but from morning he is not doing anything, he is just lying there. So king calls him and asks, who are you? This fellow says, who are you to ask me this? King says, I am the king of this Madurai. He says, that is the way so many people were thinking, but actually I am the king. There was a strong argument. Finally, king was very angry and he took his sengol, the golden staff with which he rules the country, and gave a strong blow in the back of Sundareshwara. When that beating, Taryami is the indweller of every being, cosmos. So the whole world, whole universe, including himself, had that beating. Including the king, had the mark of that golden staff, scepter, golden scepter's mark. And king was shocked. There he sees Sundareshwara standing with Meenakshi and smiling. King realized, he fell at the feet of Sundareshwara, asked him to apologize. Then Sundareshwara says, just because of Vandi's feeling connection, to please her, to eat her food, to enjoy her puttu, breakfast, till the end he has not done his job. He did not do the job of building the embankment to the Vaigai. Casual leelas, not one or two, 64 leelas. And Paranjodi Munivar, the compiler, was able to collect only 64, representing all the 64 thousands of leelas. The body with which he has performed wolves into horses, foxes into horses, that season, around 40 years, he has performed some more leelas. That body was used by him for 40 years. That body is resting in Madurai Adinam's property. I have taken the blessings of the 292nd Guruma Sannidhanam to build that into a beautiful, huge temple. We will, Nandi, the old lady, when I remember, God, this very land, he has taken 11 bodies and walked. These very roads, he would have walked and sold the firewood. These very roads, he has walked and sold bangles. This very road, he walked and sold diamonds. I'm really going crazy. This very Vaigai, he created this very Vaigai. He himself came and built embankment, at least acted as building embankment. Each action divine energy performs becomes one independent entity. If you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. Understand? Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. Ask him whatever he wants. He has broken all the rules. See, there is a law. Only a human body can radiate enlightenment, experience enlightenment. He has broken everything. He has given enlightenment to pigs. He has given enlightenment to bird. He has given enlightenment to cuckoo. He has given enlightenment to swan. Everyone can be assured. He has given enlightenment to pigs. What a Leela. Sundaresh. Each action of divine becomes independent existence, a divine energy. Shiva danced for the sake of Patanjali and showed the cosmic dance. That becomes Nataraja, the form of Shiva, an independent energy. Meditate on Nataraja, you will have extraordinary spiritual experiences. Nataraja is the Lord of spiritual experiences. Any yogic spiritual experience you want, meditate on Nataraja. Sri Krishna is explaining. Many gods does not mean the ultimate is many. No, the ultimate is only one. Its expressions are many. Eham sat vipra bahuta vadanti. One of the very important philosophical question is answered by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in this verse. God is one expression.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yoga
Yes, so that was a beautiful video on how what the Supreme Pontificalism revealed on the Shiva Leelas. So now let us see who the Nayanmars are. So the Nayanars, or the Nayanmars, were a group of 63 saints living in Tamil Nadu during the 3rd to 8th centuries CE, who were devoted to Paramashiva. And the list of Nayanmars was initially compiled by Sundareshwara of the Nayanar saints up to Karekalamaya and refers to himself as the servant of servants. And the list goes into the detail of the lives of the saints, which were described in detail works such as Devaram. And as we saw earlier, Paramashiva assumed the physical body 11 times in Madurai just to perform his divine leelas. And each divine action became an energy and an independent entity. And if you connect with that energy, Bhagavan Sundareshwara will give you the same blessing. So understand that Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. And the best way that you can connect with Sri Sundareshwara Paramashiva is through the Leela Dhyana. So today, let us meditate on the 62nd Leela, the Leela where Paramashiva heals the Pandyan king's fever through Jnana Sambandha, Trijnana Sambandha. So in the clan of Arimartana Pandya king, a king who was known for his magnanimity and who stood tall due to his widespread fame, was born with hunchback. Hence, people called him as Kon Pandyan, the Pandya king with the hunchback. Though the king Kon Pandyan took birth in the Pandya clan, which had deep devotion for Paramashiva, due to the ill effect of his long association with Samanar, the people who had misunderstood the ideas of Jainism to spread violence, he had not only fallen into in a clan consisting of great devotees of Paramashiva, which was quite sincere and integrated in observing the truths revealed in the Goddess Parvati herself protected the child by feeding her breast milk, who was once struggling without his biological mother. After this incident, people are addressing the child as Jnana Sammantan and Jnana Puraman, as the child that got enlightened at the childhood itself by the grace of Goddess Parvati. The incarnation of Lord Muruga, during the childhood itself, he learned all the scriptures, and keeping the Upanishads, the Hindu scriptures, which reveal Rudraksha and the Sharakshara mantra Saravanabhava of Lord Muruga, was considered as an enlightened being, and some people worshipped him as a result of their good deeds in the past births and won over the evil attacks of the Kali Yuga. And while the king Kun Pandyan's clan was surrounded by the harmful darkness of ignorance due to the priest who adorned his mated locks with the crescent moon, both the queen and the minister, who had incomparable and deep devotion to the lotus feet of Jnana Sambandha, explained to him about the position of the king and tried to save the king, who was drowning in the heat of the dilapidated well, which was deep ignorance. And once King Kunfa was taken by the Samanaracharyas, and at that time, for the sake of the king's health, the queen herself very much the enlightened master Jnana Sambandha, while entering the king's palace, remembered the form of Lord Shiva, who always the truth, Shivoham, I am Shiva, in his inner space for a moment, and looked at the king, who was affected by the heat of high fever. He showered his grace on the king through his eyes. Saint Jnana Sambandha, who was a stages of life as per Sanatana Dharma, smeared the sacred ash on the forehead of the king as a result of the good deeds performed by the king in his previous births. He also applied the sacred feet of Lord Shiva. While applying the sacred ash, Jnana Sambandha also sang the divine healing verse, Tirani Tripadikam. And on receiving the sacred touch of the divine hands of Jnana Sambandha, which is described in the Rudram, the Vedic chants of Lord Shiva, as the most auspicious, the most holy, and the healing medicine of the three worlds, the king got rid of the high fever instantly. As the heat existing in the stomach was spreading all over the body, the king was suffering. When not only the physical heat of the king got healed, but also the religious heat of the Samanas, the people who had misunderstood the ideas of Jainism to spread violence, was put off in the king's life. The full eyes of Jnana Sambandha got doubly evolved in the hearts of the Samana Acharyas. 80,000 Jain monks, samanas, were living in 8 mountains all over earth. They were adept in many ways forms of pranayama. When they got defeated by Jnana Samandar while curing the physical illness of the king, the wandering devotee of Lord Shiva, they decided to win over him by debating with him. Hence, all of them gathered in Madurai. Jnanasamandar was an expert in various fields like Vyakarana, Mimamsa, Tarka, and was well versed in the philosophies of Upanishads. The moment the Samanas approached him to start their debate, they got starkly right by the justifications of the philosophy like Mimamsa Shastra, and is well established by the inquiries of the Tarka Shastra. Leaving aside all the valuable justifications, the Samanaracharyas wanted to win over Jnana Samandar just by their mere faith. So all of us just saw the story of how Poon Pandyan, who was a great king who had the hunchback, had conquered the Cheran and the Cholan kingdoms, and he married Mangayar Karasi, who was the daughter of the Cholan king. And the Pandyan was deeply involved in the Jain religion, as we saw, and he spoke low of Shiva, of the Shaiva tradition. And Mangayar Karasi was a great lady and a woman of the stage of the stage, was a Shaivite. During this period, people belonging to the Jain sect, the Samanavatam in Tamil, entered into Madurai and settled down there. King Nedumaran got attracted towards Jain sect, and he announced an order that all his citizens should follow the Jain sect. This gave a shock to his wife and the minister Kulchia, but they did not have the courage to talk to the king on this matter, and people were afraid to come to the Meenakshi Amman temple. Yeah. Then the queen, Mangayar Karasi, decided to pray to Lord Sundareshwara and talk to him on the worst case of affairs. She took the minister, Kulchia, along with her to the temple and prayed to God. O Queen, I am residing in the Chola country. I am on my visit to various divine places. I came here thinking of worshipping Lord Sundareshwara of Madurai. I inquired with people here as to why no one is there. The queen immediately wrote a letter and said, O Brahman, somehow or the other, hand over this letter to. And the Brahman who came to know that Tirajnana Samandar was staying in Vedaranyam went there. And immediately after reading the letter by the queen, Tirajnana Samandar decided to visit Madurai. But Tirunavakarasar, the Brahmin who had given him the letter from the queen, said to him, O Lord, you may not be knowing the Jains. I, the one who was affected by them, know about Jainism. Further, the planetary positions are not conducive for journey. Please start on an auspicious day. Samandar replied to him, O Lord, we are the slaves of Paramashiva. When Paramashiva is there behind us, what these planets can do. He immediately sang the song, Veyurutoli Pangan Vidamunda Kandan Nalla Veena Tadavi. And even today, those who feel that they will be affected by the adverse positions of planets in their birth chart sing this song. And without bothering about planets, Samandar immediately left Madurai. Mangayar Karasi felt very happy on the arrival of Tirajnana Samandar, but at the same time, the Jain monks, the Samanas, got angry and decided to burn the house to kill Tirajnana Samandar. Samandar got infuriated and he immediately sang the Samandar then went to see the Pandyan king. And on hearing this, the Jains told the king, O king, this Samandar will not be able to cure this disease. We will cure it now in just 5 minutes. The king shouted, O Jains, just remain aloof. Let Samandar alone give me the treatment. Samandar said, I do not want any other thing. Just bring some ash from the kitchen of the temple. The ash, yeah, everything is going to become ash. Listen, but your consciousness is beyond anything you see. And initiating him into this tattva of life and giving the sacred ash as the prasada, Vijnana Samandar healed the king. And when the tattva started spreading and expanding in Kunpandyan's consciousness, the shrinking body stood up and the hunchback was cured. And he expanded and became Nindrasir Nadumaranayana. So now, with this beautiful story, the 62nd Leela of Sundareshwara as mentioned in the Tiruvalayadal, let us now see how Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down as the supreme font of Hinduism. The embodiment of Meenakshi and Sundareshwara healed Kunpandyan. And today, for all of humanity, out of the billions on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. As for us, Sundareshwara is not a history, he is a happening. And Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the supreme font of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, as Swamiji, just to continue his legacy and Leela, to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leelas, performing miracles in the lives of all the devotees, attending to our prayers, and supreme font of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity. And the supreme font of Hinduism, being revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva at a very young age, was birthed by various enlightened beings, Siddhas, Yogis, Brahma Yogis, and many other adepts to revive these sciences and the initiations and knowledge repositories for billions to manifest the super consciousness. And he was trained from the disciplines of Vedanta, Tantra, Sri Vidya, Paramashiva Jnana, Paramashiva Vijnana, and much more. And in the Hindu tradition, there are actually various ancient sciences which were practiced thousands of years ago. And one of them is the Nadi readings. So the Nadi readings is an ancient science of Akashic reading in Hinduism and organized by Agastya Maharishi. And it is an implementations in Hinduism on planet Earth. And this age-old science actually predicts about the advent of the supreme font of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So here you can see the Nadi readings of Swamiji where Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down as the supreme font of Hinduism. It says, Nithyananda Sangha, please carefully listen completely to the words. For many crores of Siddhas, Paramashivan has incarnated as Paramahamsa. People became blissful. Just by thinking about him, they achieved bliss. The people who have experienced the truth of bliss followed him. So all the life forms in the world are his life. He considers all the people of the world as his people, his children. He lives as the Jagat Guru, as pure Shiva, Sadashiva, as the sun and the moon. And as many enlightened beings and Siddhas recognized the supreme font of Hinduism as an incarnation of Paramashiva, they did the Yoga Pattabhishekam, the coronation of the supreme font of Hinduism as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva on planet Earth. Through the supreme font of Hinduism, Mataji Vidanandapuri began the preparations for coronating this occasion. An official letter of initiation adopted him as her only disciple and successor in the Arunachal lineage, coronating and conferring upon him the title Brahmasati. His gurus thus coordinated him when he was 16 years of age in 1994, and immediately after which the avatar commenced the expansion work of Kailasa. It is thus 27 years of public life till date, and the avatar stepped out of Tiruvannamalai the very next year in 1995, which is the same year his gurus left their body and the purpose of their life was complete. So here you can see the letter given and written by Mataji Vivekananda Puri, declaring him as and adopting him as her only disciple and successor in the Arunachala lineage. And many other adepts, so many adepts, yogis, siddhas, siddhapurushas, and enlightened beings have actually recognized and revered Swamiji, the supreme point of Hinduism, as the avatar of Paramashiva. And a few months into her pregnancy, Brahma Yogini Mataji Vivekananda Puri gave specific instructions to Anasuya Ammal, her dear friend, and the mother of Sri Arunachalam, the paternal grandmother of the incarnation, who is yet to be born. And obeying her commands, Anasuya Ammal took her daughter-in-law, Ma Lokanayaki, who is Swamyam, the mother of Swamiji, to receive the blessings of Pundi Mahan, who is a great seer and revered as an incarnation of Paramashiva near Tiruvannamalai. And as Ma Lokanayaki, Swamyam, bowed down to Pundi Mahan, he showered her with flowers and akshita, the turmeric rice, and declared to her heartily, Ammayappane Pirappan, and blessing her that Paramashiva himself will be born to her as the divine mother and father of the whole cosmos. And the 292nd pontiff of the Madurai Admi, Sri Arunagirinatha Sri Jnanasambandha Paramacharya Swami, is the predecessor of Supreme Pontiff, and since 2012. And the 292nd Guru Mahasanidhanam actually had the divine vision of Lord Shiva and Devi Meenakshi, who both instructed him to coordinate the avatar as his successor and as the 293rd Guru Mahasanidhanam. So now let us watch a video where the 292nd Guru Mahasanidhanam speaks about, has spoken about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
The 290th Guru Mahasanidhanam, the 289th Guru Mahasanidhanam, all were genius and sages and saints. Therefore, we thought we had a great mind that our successor should be a genius and a saint and sage. So according to the great grace of the Almighty Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi, God has given a very powerful, youngest youth and a vital person for my successor. It is a noble gift of Lord Shiva. It was established in the 6th century by Saint Thirignana Sambandha of Sirihari, Tanjavur district in Tamil Nadu. He was not only propagating the Saiva religion, he was not only propagating the Saiva Siddhanta philosophy, he not only sang 4,000 and odd Devaram songs, but also he was striving for the upliftment of the downtrodden people, the people, to call him as only Tamil Jnana Sambandha, Chandamil Vella Jnana Sambandha, Vilayudaya Arundamil Jnana Sambandha, and so on. Many people, many genius people are our who visited our Adinam. 3 pages songs about the praise of the Madurai Adinam. He was Sri Swaminatha Sri Jnana Sambandha Desika Brahmachari Swamigal. And the Bhaskara Sathapati of Ramnad Samasthana was a disciple, and he constructed a bungalow, also our disciple. He was given a honor that Sanmarka Sandamaradam by our Guru, 291st Guru Magasanidam. And the Panditure Kaval, the founder of 4th Tamil Sangam in Madurai, Dudley, a Governor General of London, was our. The Professor Mananmani and Sundareshwara also are our disciples. Not only that, the Mananmani and Sundareshwara, the professor of a college, who came to our Arinam and wrote a book entitled The Nithyananda Sambandha of Sirgali, Tanjavur district, is not only the founder of this mutt, leader of Tamil Nadu, but also the champion of social equality, who expelled the untouchability even in the 6th century. Therefore, our 293rd Guru Magasanidhanam, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivoham, utterly the best disciple of Saint Nithyananda Sambandha. The 91st Guru Magasanidhanam, the 290th Guru Magasanidhanam.
Yes. So now we also have Mahant Narendra Guruji Maharaj, who was a defender of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and who was not only a member of the Panch of the Niranjani Akada, but also the president of the Akhila Bharati Akada, Parashakti. So let us now watch a video where Mahant Narendra Guruji Maharaj spoke about the supreme point of Hinduism.
मुझे खुशी हो रही है कि मैं ऐसे महान संत के साथ आज इस कार्यक्रम में हूँ.
See, Swamiji is saying that I am the head of the 13 akhadas, but today I am so happy that I am with such a great Avatar Purushan, Swamiji.
उसमें कई प्रतिक्रिया मेरे पास आई. मैंने कहा था कि स्वामी नित्यानंद जी महाराज सनातन धर्म के रीढ़ की हड्डी हैं.
In Triambakeshwar, I said one thing, that when the media people came and asked me, I said Swamiji is the backbone of Hinduism.
उस प्रतिक्रिया के बाद काफी लोगों ने हमसे पूछा कि आपने ये शब्द कैसे कह दिया. तो मैंने सबसे कहा, अभी तो पूरे विश्व में उसका प्रचार प्रसार कर रहे हैं, तो इसलिए मैंने कहा कि स्वामी जी सनातन धर्म के रीढ़ की हड्डी है.
Swamiji is the backbone of Hinduism. Then I have explained that Swamiji has not only done the work for the Hinduism here, but he has done it all over the world, taking the respect and honor of Hinduism all over the world. That's why
ji, who was the head of the Kaladamat, the oldest recorded matha in Karnataka, dating back to more than 6,500 years ago. Let us watch a video where Sri Shantivira Mahaswamiji speaks about the Supreme Conduct Principles, spoke about the Supreme Conduct Principles.
ईश्वर का रूप में नित्यानंद बैठा है और गिरी जी क्या है? ईश्वर का रूप में नित्यानंद बैठा है और बाद उसका उद्धार करने के लिए ईश्वर का रूप में उन दोनों के मेरे सामने भेजा है। हम तीनों जो है ना आपके साथ बैठे हैं, आपका सेवा के लिए हम तीनों बद्ध है। सेवा परमगनो योगी नाम अपनी गम्यते। सेवा का चीज़ इतना बहुत है, उसको वर्णन करने के नहीं हो सकता है, कितना करे तो भी कम है। इसलिए हम तीनों जो किया है अब कुछ है, अभी करने के बहुत ज़्यादा है। आपका शक्ति देने के बाद आप भगवान के स्वरूप में बैठे हैं। आप सबके अंदर भगवान है, आपके स्वरूप हम क्या करना भगवान ने बेस्ट। इसलिए गिरी जी महाराज ने, आनंद गिरी महाराज ने क्या बोला है, हम सेवक है, सन्यासी लोगों का सैन्य है। सन्यासी कौन होता है? सबको वसुदैव कुटुंबकम अयम निज परो वेति गणना लघु चेतसा। क्या बोलता है? एक छोटा है, ये बड़ा है, कुछ नहीं है। संतान है, इसलिए ईश्वर का रूप में नित्यानंद बैठा है। और
And we also have Sri Govindananda ji, who is a trustee, who was a trustee in the Gurugad of the Mahanirvani Pita of the Govindamat. So let us watch a video where Swami Govindananda ji spoke about our beloved Swami.
Swamiji is very grateful that he didn't know about the whole program. He first learned about the Kalpataru Darshan with the hoardings which was put outside, and that's how he know about the program. But he didn't know the structure of the program. But he so wonder and so brilliance is happening here. For that, he is really thinking so great.
अभी जब मैं यहाँ आया, महाराज श्री ने मनाया, उसको देख करके ऐसा लगा, उस समय में मुझे पता भी नहीं चला कि मैं काशी में हूँ, सूर्या होटल के प्रांगण में हूँ, सद्य कैलाश में बैठ करके ये आनंद ले रहा हूँ।
The last marriage ceremony of Shiva and Parvati, Meenakshi and Sundareshwara, Swamiji felt as if he is
उस कुंडली शक्ति को जागृत करने का और उस ऊर्जा को पूरे विश्व में प्रवाहित करने का जो संकल्प लिया है, इस संकल्प के लिए पूज्य महाराज श्री को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। हमें एक चीज,
Swamiji is thanking that the task which Swamiji has undertook is awakening the Kundalini Shakti each being and achieving the highest potential. For that he is offering his sadhubad, his greetings, his gratitude.
एक दैवी घटना है कि जितने आचार्य हमारे अवतरित हुए, चाहे वो शंकराचार्य जी हों, रामानुजाचार्य जी हों, मध्वाचार्य जी हों, ये सब दक्षिण भारत में अवतरित हुए और उनका कार्य उत्तर भारत में हुआ। अवतार भगवान का सब उत्तर भारत में हुआ और दक्षिण में जाकर के उन्होंने कार्य किया। तो मैं पूज्य महाराज श्री को भी उन्हीं सेवागम के आचार्य के रूप में अवतरित होता देख रहा हूँ। मैं महाराज श्री के चरणों को प्रणाम।
All the acharyas who have born in the South India, like Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya, and they spread the knowledge in the northern India and Swami in this very land of Kasi. Adi Shankaracharya.
शिवोहम सच्चिदानंदोहम सोहम, यह हमारे परमात्मा। हमारे दयानंद जी ने कहा, जैसे ही कहा कि महाराज श्री की मुस्कुराहट ऐसे बिखरती है जैसे रूप में प्रतिष्ठ अपने आनंद स्वरूप को बिखेरता है पूज्य महाराज श्री के मुखमंडल पे, और उससे ओतप्रोत होकर के जीव आनंदित हो उठता है। ये पार्ट चेहरा जो है वह हृदय का प्रतिबिंब है, जो अंदर होता है वही बाहर दिखता है। यही महापुरुष की विशेषता है। मैं इनके लिए भी महाराज श्री को, इस सौभाग्य के लिए महाराज श्री को धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि हम लोग इसमें आकर के सम्मिलित हुए।
When Dayanand Shastriji told, when Swamiji smiles, it looks like the smile of Krishna. But I don't see that. I see that when Swamiji smiles, is Paramatma himself realized that we have been come here, we have been the part of the program, and I am offering my gratitude to him.
मैं आगम शास्त्र के एक श्लोक को उद्धृत करता हूँ। उसमें गुरु शिष्य पदै स्थित्वाः कहा, गुरु शिष्य पदै स्थित्वाः स्वयं साक्षात महेश्वरः प्रश्नोत्तर पदैर्वाक्यम तंत्रम संवतारयेत्। कहा, गुरु और शिष्य की जो प्रतिष्ठा है वह क्या है? वह शिव रूप में, स्वयं शिव ही जो है गुरु शिष्य के रूप में प्रतिष्ठा है। आप देखो, रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी को सब जगह काली दिखाई पड़ता है। मैं यहाँ आया तो केवल आपके गुरु, श्रोता भी गुरु महाराज जी सामने बैठे हैं, वक्ता भी गुरु महाराज सामने बैठे हैं, चारों तरफ गुरु से सुरक्षित आपका जीवन।
That Guru and Shishya both will be realizing, and both are Shiva. And here, when he is here, he is not only seeing Swamiji, Shiva himself teaching, but also he is seeing Shiva in the form of disciple.
उपनिषद जो हमारे सदग्रंथ हैं, वेद का अंश है, उसमें एक जगह आया है जो हमारे आवृत चक्षु धीराः प्रत्यगामान वेक्षत आवृत चक्षु अमृतस्य मिक्षण। कहा, आंख बंद करके अमृत की इच्छा करने वाला कोई धीर महापुरुष होता है, अमृत की प्राप्ति कराने वाला कोई वीर महापुरुष होता है, जो इस लक्ष्य तक आपको पहुंचा देता है। सामान्य जीव को उठा करके भगवान शिव के स्वरूप में अपने आंखों से देखा कि आंख पर पट्टी बांध करके, ये जो हमारी जगत की चक्षु है, इस पर बांध करके भी हम अक्षर को पढ़ सकते हैं। तो मेरा विश्वास है कि हमारे हृदय में आत्मलिंग के स्वरूप में प्रतिष्ठ परमात्मा सदाशिव के रूप में हम बड़ी आसानी से गुरु की उदार दृष्टि से, गुरु की कृपा से देख सकेंगे। ये हमारे जीवन का जो है लक्ष्य भी हमें प्राप्त होने वाला है। इसके लिए भी पूज्य महाराज श्री को बधाई।
The way that for a common person who can just realize closing his eyes and still can see from his third eye, the person who can do this is not a common man. He is only an incarnation who can do this. And I am really glad to see that it has happened here. And it is
हुए हैं। आप लोगों का जीवन धन्य है। आपकी धन्यता में कहीं, जब गुरु अपने शिष्य को स्वीकार करता है तो गुरु को अपने गोद में हैं, चारों तरफ आपके गुरु जी बैठ करके आपका संरक्षण करते हैं, संपोषण करते हैं। यही गुरु पद का महत्व है। इसके लिए भी पूज्य महाराज श्री को मेरी बधाई।
You are blessed that you are the disciple of Swamiji, and when in this particular place, not only Swamiji is revealing himself as Shiva, but when you are.
मुझे शब्द नहीं मिलते हैं। जब भाव दिमाग पे हावी होता है तो शब्द नहीं मिलते हैं। मैं महाराज श्री को देख करके इतना आत्मविभोर हो रहा हूँ, प्रसन्न हो रहा हूँ। इस कार्यक्रम को देख के इतना प्रसन्न हो रहा हूँ कि मेरे इस पास कहने के लिए कोई शब्द नहीं है। लेकिन मैं इतना कह सकता हूँ कि यह सामान्य महापुरुष की कृति नहीं है, एक महान व्यक्तित्व की कृति है। यह साम्राज्य जो है उस महापुरुष का है। और मुझे लगता है कि आपको सुंदर दिशा मिलेगी, सुंदर दृष्टि मिलेगी, और ये उदार दृष्टि से आपका जीवन धन्य हो जाएगा। इतना कहते हुए मैं आप लोगों के यहाँ साधना शिविर में पधारने की वजह के लिए बधाई देता हूँ। पूज्य महाराज श्री के आश्रय में आने के लिए बधाई देता हूँ। बड़े बड़े महापुरुष आकर के इतना बड़ा आयोजन, इतना बड़ा यज्ञ, इतना बड़ा अनुष्ठान संपन्न करते हैं। पता नहीं इस भूमि का क्या भाग्य रहा हो। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि यह ऋषि का गुरुकुल कभी रहा होगा, नहीं तो इतने महापुरुष आकर के इतना बड़ा आयोजन यहाँ संपन्न नहीं करते। मैं इस होटल के मालिक साहब को भी बधाई देता हूँ कि इन्होंने जो है सब आकर के जो है साधना का अनुसंधान करते हैं, अपने जीवन का अनुसंधान करते हैं। इतना कहते हुए भी मैं अपने वाणी को विराम देना चाहता हूँ और बधाई देना चाहता हूँ कि मीनाक्षी जो अधिकार मिला है इसके लिए 127 293 इतनी लंबी परंपरा, इतनी गौरवमयी परंपरा में हम लोगों के लिए बड़ा आसान हो गया कि मीनाक्षी मंदिर आएंगे तो पूज्य महाराज श्री के दर्शन का, पूज्य महाराज श्री के आशीर्वाद का सौभाग्य प्राप्त होगा। इतना कहते हुए हम वाणी को विराम देते हैं और जो है पूज्य महाराज श्री को प्रणाम करते हैं, आप लोगों को आशीर्वाद देते हैं, साधुवाद देते हैं। इतिशम।
I am really feeling short of words. Today is the only day I am not having words. What should I say? But I am so glad that all of you have come here and finished your sadhana and realized. And this, I am also thankful to the Surya Hotel who have done an incredible job of hosting this whole program, where an incarnation comes and being present over here, feeling blissful and offering my gratitude to everyone.
Yes, so those were a few beautiful videos that we also where other heads of various mats and adinams have spoken about supreme point of Hinduism. So now let us see the Leelas of the Avatar. Yes, so just how Trinyana Samandar, who is the embodiment of Bhagavan Sundareshwara and Devi Parashakti, once again, Sundareshwara has come down as the supreme point of Hinduism and performing his divine Leelas. So just like this, the supreme point of Hinduism has healed millions around the world, learning how you can make your offerings and how you can offer your gratitude at the feet of Bhagavan Sundareshwara.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivohanda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda, and welcome back to this segment where we'll be learning about the various traditional offerings we can offer to Iranian Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparam today. In the Hindu tradition, whenever we go to receive the darshan of the divine, we never go empty-handed. We always take something as a token of expression of our sacred sentiments to offer at the feet of the divine. And there are some traditions similarly. Let us see what are the offerings we can offer to Bhagavan Sundareshwara Paramashiva. Halasya Mahatmyam says, salutations to the ever-peaceful God, whose lotus-like feet are worshipped by enemies of Madhu and other devas, who has the golden mountain as his bow, and who is the lord of the silver hall, Rajat Sabai, in Madurai temple. Toya kritamidam stotram, yap pate bhakti samyutaha, tasya yudhirthamyaham dadamyaham. He who reads this prayer composed with devotion will be given long life, health, and wealth by me. And Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu is the greatest, unique, and complete manifestation of Paramashiva. And another verse from the Halasya Mahatmyam describes Halasanathaya Maheshwaraya Hala Hala Lankrita Kandhraya Meenakshanayaha Pataye Shivaya Namo Namah Sundara Tandavaya. It says, salutations to the handsome dancer, who is the great God and Lord of the town of eyes like fish. Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu is the manifestation of the beauty of the cosmos in flesh and bones. Irayanar Sundareshwara is the embodiment of superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu, as the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, assumes the physical and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, removes, deletes anything in its physical plane as he likes without even a reason. Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu has given enlightenment to pigs, birds, cuckoos, swan, and every being can be assured of the grace of Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramparu. And in this darshan today, and get ready with our sacred offerings to Bhagavan Sundareshwara are expression of devotion and oneness with Bhagavan Sundareshwara. So if you'd like to offer any of the traditional offerings, the various Alankara Sevas to Bhagavan Sundareshwara, the Achalamurti. Sundareshwara is the embodiment of the superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. The Achalamurti, Sundareshwara, Paramashiva Parampuru. Offering this seva will bestow the blessings and grace to manifest leadership consciousness, excellence in career, abundance in wealth consciousness, and manifesting a powerful inner image. And in the sacred Paramashiva, and the Shiva Kavacha mantra describes the details of the Kavacha, the armor of Paramashiva. The Shiva Kavacha mantra is offered as an archana to Swayambhu Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva in the Kshetra of mantra. When offered, bestows the devotee with the grace and blessings to remove enmity, to remove any negative forces that will might take away one's wealth, and to bestow the blessings and grace for the protection of one's wealth. So you can make the offering of the Shiva Kavacham Archana to Swayambhu Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva link at the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And the next offering, traditional offering to Bhagavan Sundareshwara, the Vishesha Dramashtam, is the offering of the sacred bath to the Utsava Murti. Bath, the Abhishekam, is offered with special ingredients and blesses the devotee with the grace and blessings for the removal of diseases, to attract abundance in their life, for the health and well-being, and the manifestation of all the attributes of Hirayanar. And the next offering of the sevas to Bhagavan Sundareshwara is the Uttamottama Upachara Puja to Nithyanandeshwara Somasundareshwara. The Kamika Agama describes that the best of the best offerings, the Uttamottama offerings, can be offered in the space of oneness with Paramashiva. Various offerings, including the Deeparadhana, the of Bhagavan Nithyanandeshwara in the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Param Devalaya in Adi Kailash, who sits along with Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti, and also to the deity of Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, Nithyanandeshwara Somasundareshwara, is the most handsome and graceful form of Bhagavan Nithyananda. So you can make this traditional offering to Bhagavan Sundareshwara. And this seva brings the blessings of a breakthrough in wealth consciousness and health and prosperity in life. Is the offering of the Swarna Mudra and the Rajata Mudra to the Bhogamurti of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. And the offering of the Swarna Mudra and Rajata Mudra is a special ritual offered to Hirayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru in the Madurai Meenakshi Sundareshwara temple where the devotees get to offer the Bhogamurti of Bhagwan Sundareshwara. During all other rituals, the donations offered, the offerings are made in the hundi, but can offer directly on the deity. So you can make this offering of the silver in 3 different denominations. The silver metal is itihasas, Puranas. In all the Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly displayed that silver represents good health and nourishment. In Hinduism, we believe the celestial bodies in the sky have a direct effect on our bodies and lives. The moon nourishes all life. Bhagwan Krishna declares in the Purushottam, when silver is offered, the blessings manifest for good health and the growth of one's children and themselves. Whenever silver is offered, it gives tremendous blessings for the nourishment in all aspects of life. So you can make this offering on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And the next offering to Bhagwan Sundareshwara is the offering of the gold coins. Offering can also be made in 3 different denominations. Gold is considered one of the most divine and sacred elements that is mentioned in all the scriptures of Hinduism, the Agamas, the Vedas, the Shrutis. It is abundantly displayed that gold is the most auspicious and purest metal which purifies our being. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold. To be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold. The streets would have huge columns and huge archways made of gold. Horses and cows were dressed in gold. So you can make various offerings in these sacred and precious metals of gold and silver. And these are so the Rajata Mudra offerings to the Bhogamurti as Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampurur. You can make this offering in 3 different denominations, 3 sizes. And the Swarna Mudra, the gold of the offering of the gold to the Bhogamurti in 3 different denominations. You can offer the sevas for Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru. The Alankara Seva to Bhagwan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, gracing us as, and you can make the offering of the Shiva Kavacham Archana to Swayambhu Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. You can make the offering of the Vishesha Dravya Abhishekam to Bhagwan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, the Utsava Murti of Bhagwan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, gracing us as Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Parampuru, and the Uttamottama Upachara Puja to Nithyanandeshwara Nithyanandeshwara Soma Sundareshwara. And you can make all of these offerings on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And here you can see the website. Roll down on the page and make your offerings to Bhagwan Sundareshwara as you prepare to receive on the website, where you can choose any of the traditional offerings that you would like to offer. The Alankara Seva, the Vishesha Dravya Abhishekam, the Shiva Kavacham Archana, the Rajata Mudra, the silver coin, offerings of silver coin, offerings to the Bhogamurti, the Swarna Mudra, the offering of the gold coins to the Bhogamurti of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. So all of these various traditional offerings to Bhagavan Sundareshwara can be made on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And now, with that, as the Supreme Pontiff will be having the alive darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, so we'll get ready for to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara.
Having the alive darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara due to intense samadhi of the Supreme Pontiff Hinduism. So now as we get ready to receive Bhagavan Sundareshwara, all of you can sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes. Remember Paramashiva on your third eye. And as we get ready to receive Paramashiva, Bhagavan Sundareshwara, intensely chant the Mahavakya and connect to Bhagavan Sundareshwara. You can now sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and get ready to receive Bhagavan Venkateshwara. Intensely chant Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Shivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Puja. Please take some sandalwood paste in your hands and offer it to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra. Om Gandhadvaranduran Darshan Nityapushtankarishinim Ishwarigum Sarvabhutan Nam Tamihopahvaye Shriyam and offer the flowers to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra. With the mantra. Om Gandhadvaranduran Darshan Nityapushtankarishinim Ishwarigum Sarvabhutanam Tamihopahvaye Shriyam and offer the flowers to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra. Yopam Pushpam Veda Pushpavan Prajavaan Pashaman Bhavati Chandrama Vapam Pushpam Pushpavan Prajavaan Pashaman Bhavati Evam Veda Yopamayatanam Veda Ayatanavan Bhavati Pushpai Pujayami. Now, please take and please ring the bell as you do so. Om Dhurasi Dhurva Dhurvantam Dhurvatayyo Osman Dhuratitam Dhushtatamam Vannitamam Devahutam Amritamasir Havedhanam Trigum Swamatva Mitrasya Tva Chakshish. Please take the lit lamp in your hands and slowly wave it towards Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra and please ring the bell as you do so. Om Uddipya Sajatavedo Pagniniritam Mama Pashugushcha Mahyamavaha Jivanam Chadisho Disha Mano Higum Sijatavedo Gamashram Purusham Jagat Abhibradagna Agahi Shriyama Paripataya Deepam Darshayami. Now please take a turn of water and hover it clockwise over the Naivedyam and offer the water to Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra and please ring the bell as you do so. Om Madhuvatartayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhvina Santoshadhihi Madhunaktamutoshasi Madhumatparthivagum Rajaha Madhudhyaurastuna Pita Madhumano Vanaspatir Madhumagumastu Suryaha Madhigavo Bhavantunaha Madhu Madhu Madhu. Naivedyam Nivedayami. Now, please take the arati in your hands and slowly wave it towards Irena Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu along with the mantra and please ring the bell as you do so. Om Rajadhirajaya Prasanya Sahine Namo Vayam Vaishavanaya Kurmahe Same Kamang Kamakamaya Mahyam Kameshwaro Vaishavano Dadatu Kuberaya Vaishavanaya Maharajaya Namaha Karpuram Sada Vasantam Hridayarabinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Karpura Niranjanam Darshayami. Now, in the same space, please sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. And get ready. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes slowly